Do you give your hamstrings the attention they deserve? I'm Samantha Clayton, fitness expert and former competitive sprinter. I'm working with Herbalife to help you achieve a healthy, active life. You may have heard me talk about the muscles of the posterior chain in previous workouts. Today, I want to focus on an important muscle that is often underworked part of this group, your hamstrings. Your hamstrings work in a perfect partnership with your quads at the front of your legs. Unfortunately, we often fail to train and stretch them effectively, which can lead to muscle stress and tears. Our exercises today will focus specifically on stretching and strengthening your hamstrings to help keep you in perfect running shape. Join me and let's get warmed up for our leg workout. We're going to start out with plank walkout. So you're going to stand with your feet slightly wider than shoulders width apart. I want you to take a big deep breath in, inhale, and as you exhale, push your hips back, slowly take your hands towards the floor and walk out into plank position. We're going to hold in plank position, contract your core and just hold for a second, and then slowly walk back up to standing. Take a big deep breath in, bring your feet a little closer together the second time down. As you exhale, push your hips back, walk back out into that plank position. And this time, while you're in plank, lift your left leg and step forward towards your left hand, because this is going to give you a real stretch in the groin area. Come back and switch sides. Step back and then slowly walk your hands back up to the top. Our third time through, the feet come a little closer together. Remember, pushing back with the hips, hands to the floor, stretching out the hamstrings, stretching out the core. And this time in plank position, our knee is going to go first out to the side, and then it's going to come straight through to the middle. Foot goes down, lift the other side, knee to the outside of the elbow, and then straight through to the center. Walk it back up. Take a big deep breath in. Feet come completely together this time. And this time you want to just really slowly push the hips back. Feel the stretch down the back of the hamstrings. Tip of your fingers on the floor. Walk it out. And let's go through that move again. Foot comes up to the outside and back, to the center and back. This time let's add in a little twist to the opposite elbow. Foot goes down, lift up on the other side. First really stretching the groin, working the core. This is like a real core workout. Here you go to the center and then over to the opposite side, and then gently walk it back out. Nice job. So our next move, we're going to actually lie down on the mat. We're going to lie down flat on your back. You're going to keep one knee bent, straighten out one leg, and all I want you to do is just lift and stretch. Second time round, leg stays straight, hamstring comes up. Again, my back is flat against the floor. So first, knee to chest, and then foot straight up. And each time you do this, you want to try and stretch a little bit further each time. Again, this is our warm-up, so it's got to be dynamic. We're not really holding the stretches. And notice how my foot is flexed. I have a flexed foot because I really want to feel that hamstring stretching out. Do about 5 or 6 times, plant the foot down, and then let's repeat that on the other side. Straight leg. And again, if you don't really have great hamstring flexibility, just come up as high as is comfortable for you. Your movements should be nice and fluid and slow. We never do any jerky movements at all, just nice and slow. But each time, aim to get that leg a little bit further and really feel that stretch through the hamstring. Let's do one more time. come up to sitting, and we're going to do what's called a modified hurdle stretch. So you're going to have one foot straight. You're really sitting up on your sit bones. You're going to take one foot to the inside of the thigh. And before we lean forward, I want you to focus on stretching up your back in that nice straight back. Take a big deep breath in and then hinge at the hips. The toe is pulling back towards you, so you'll feel a stretch in your calf muscle and in your hamstring. And just sit forward a little and then come back. Breathe out, take a big deep breath in, lifting up from the hips and then hinging forward. You don't want to bend forward. I don't want to see any bending. Everything's all nice, straight back. And just really feel that stretch in the back of the hamstring. And again, you just want to reach forward a few times. Maybe on your third or fourth time down, you can add in the arms. You can just kind of reach towards your toe. We all have different amounts of flexibility. So just work with what you have. And then simply switch sides. So one leg is straight. One leg is in at the thigh. Take a big deep breath in. And lean forward. I notice I'm a little bit more flexible on one side than the other, and that's common. We'll often have one side that's a little bit more flexible. So on your weaker side, I want you to work a little bit harder. Then you can add in the arms to reach forward. Again, the whole time you're hinging at the hips, not bending forward at the hips. And you'll really feel this stretch in the thighs and the hamstring. A few more times, and then we're going to come up to standing and really mobilize the knees. It's important that if you're doing hamstring work that you get your knees ready too. So come up to standing, your feet are going to be together and you're simply just going to bend forward, and I just want you to slowly do circles with the knees. And just do 3 or 4 circles one way and then we'll do 3 or 4 the other. Just to really mobilize the knee in all directions. Right, now let's get that hip flexor and quad stretched out. So I want you to use a towel and place it down on the floor. But first, take a lunge step forward with your knee kind of positioned right over the towel. And we're going to do a hip flexor stretch. So right now I'm feeling my hip flexor. Just hold for a second, then place your knee on the mat. Lift up your back foot. Now you may not be flexible enough to grab the foot, but if you are, just take the foot, stretch out the quad, release, stretch out the quad and release. And just do 3 or 4. Come back up to standing and simply switch sides. Again, make sure you position yourself. You want to protect that knee. You don't want to ever put it down on hard floor. So feel the hip flexor stretch first, then drop down, lean forward slightly, and then let's feel that quad stretching out. Just 3 or 4 times. Feel it loosen up. And right, let's get to our workout. So just move your towel out of the way. I want you to lie on the back. And we're going to go straight into our bridge pose while we're down here, and then we're going to stand up and do deadlifts. But what I want you to do is you're going to lie down flat on the mat, do a pelvic tilt so your stomach's flat on the floor, hands are down, and what you're going to do is you're going to push your weight up into a bridge position. So this bridge position really works your glutes, your hamstrings, your core. But if you want to make it really hamstring focused, come up onto your heels. Pull your toes back, you're up onto your heels, and then really add in a core challenge by lifting one foot off the floor, step it back down, and repeat. The whole time I'm coming back onto those heels because I want my hamstrings to really have to work hard. As you get stronger, you can bring the heels even closer to the glutes, really stressing the hamstrings. So we're just going to do this 5 or 6 times. Come back to the floor, come back up onto the heels and repeat. Remember to breathe the whole time and keep your hips square. You want your hips to stay squared out. Now when you come up to standing this time, I want you to grab hold of some dumbbells. So you're going to pick up your weights, and we're going to do a modified deadlift move. And so the reason it's modified is because usually a deadlift, the weight's on the floor. But we're going to start with the weights in our hands. Your feet are going to be slightly wider than shoulder width apart. You're going to place your hands on your thighs, and you're going to literally just push your glutes back as the weights slowly slide down just past the knees, and then come back up to standing. So slide down just past the knees and come back up to standing. So you want to make sure, again, that you're not bending forward, that you have a nice straight back. And you'll feel if you're doing it right, because you're going to feel the tension in the back of the hamstrings leading forward with the hips. So the heavier the weight you use on this exercise, the harder it is. And the further you go down your legs, the harder the move. But I just want you to start out with the weights going just past the knees, and we're going to do about 10, so just give me 2 more. Our next move, we're going to do what I call my single leg hamstring walkout. Keeping a hold of your weight, lift one leg forward, leg's going to come back behind you, challenging your balance, challenging the hamstring. We come up, we take a little step forward, lift up, and back you go. So it's essentially you're doing a deadlift on one leg. So all that stress is going through the hamstring, getting nice and strong. Focus on keeping a nice straight back. Let's just do one more. Put your weights down. Now for stability ball hamstring curls. This one, you're really going to feel it. You're almost in that bridge position again, but this time you're going to be using the ball. So position your feet on top of the ball. Hips come up, and you're simply going to roll the ball into the glutes and roll back out. Rolling in and out. This is a really, really great hamstring challenge right here. If you want to up the challenge, you can do it single leg. And then double leg. Again, 8 to 10 of this exercise is perfect. Our next move that we're going to do is we're going to lie on the floor. Let me put my ball back. I want you to pick up your towel. I want you to lay flat on the floor. You're going to use a rolled up towel and just place it right in your knee area here. And you're simply going to squeeze the towel as you open. You're going to squeeze, squeeze and lift. Open, squeeze and lift. So this move really works the hamstring and it works the glute. That little squeeze at the end works the hamstring kind of close to where it connects to the glute muscle. And then we're going to switch sides. So reach back, grab hold of the towel and switch sides. Really feel that squeeze, feel the leg doing the work, open up and squeeze. Now you can actually do this exercise by using a weight. You can actually place a weight right there, maybe even some leg weights, and lift. Let's do 2 more. Great job. Now let's lift up, let's lie on our back again this time. We're gonna open up the towel and we're gonna finish off with a holding hamstring stretch to really work on the flexibility of the hamstring. So what I want you to do is I want you to lie down back into that position where we were stretching at the start. You're gonna do a pelvic tilt so your back is flat against the floor, and simply place the towel in the arch of your foot. Then I want you to straighten out the leg. And you're gonna feel this stretch right down the back of the hamstring. Now, if you don't have great flexibility, use a longer towel and just start a little bit lower down. But what you're gonna do is push your weight into the towel. So right now I'm pushing my body weight into the towel. I can really feel my hamstring working. And then I'm going to release, come back up, and this time pull it a little bit closer. So I'm making my hamstring work a little harder. I'm slowly going to push down, push my weight down. Wait until the stretch feels like it's easing off. Come out, come back up. And on third time through, I'm getting a much deeper stretch in the hamstring. And then simply switch sides, switch feet. Again, depending on your flexibility, depends on where you want that stationary leg. You can have one leg bent, or you can flatten that leg out and really make the leg work harder. So push down, release the stretch, come back up, and pull a little bit further. Push down, release the stretch, third time through, really getting a little bit further. So at the end of our workout, you can hold your stretches for about 60 seconds. 30 to 60 seconds is plenty. Push the weight down. Here we go. It's important to ensure that you do a balanced workout. If you do spend time focusing on one specific muscle group, ensure that you follow it up with a workout for its partner muscle in the same week. I hope you enjoyed this workout. Tell me what you thought in the comments section below.